not too often do I get to tell you when I'm wrong. You know, um, I don't always get the opportunity to tell you that I've been wrong about something. I usually post nothing but the facts on this show, or I'm able to post content that makes you question the things that the government is doing. This quick and brief episode won't be about that. It will be to tell you that I'm wrong. I noticed a post on Instagram, and I seen it trending. I actually seen it on people who have a lot more followers than I have. And the one thing that you've seen me talk against on the show is how people are promoting and teaching sexual, sexual acts to children. I seen a post, and the post said that basically the post was a lie. Let me go into the small room. This post behind me was created. Hey, what's up, Dina? What's up, Roy? This post behind me was created by someone named Impala Jackson. And this post was done so to cause emotional distress to, I believe, the mother name is Raquel. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but the name is Racquelle. Raquel. I have the mother's Facebook page. It doesn't matter what sexual orientation the parents are. I believe that's something that they should enjoy within the confines of their own home. But the story that this baby is a transgender baby is in fact a lie. It's a big lie, and it's a lie promoted that I won't allow to continue to go on, because the last thing I like is a bully. And the first thing that I am is a champion for people, all people. Doesn't matter what color you are, as long as you're an American, I make sure I put you before me. I make sure that I do everything in my power to have your voices heard. So to the family, to Raquel, to you and your family, I want to give a sincere apology. I want to make sure that I give a sincere apology, and I want to make sure that I don't just do it on Instagram, that I use every platform that I have in order to give you this apology. I have reached out to her. My audience wasn't aware that I was going to do this live show, but I reached out to Raquel, and I'll be back around the 29th. So if I can get her on the show as a guest and give a formal apology, I will do so. I will talk to Raquel on, how the photo made her feel. And I want to make sure that I express to her that I'm sorry. This was a photo that was trending online. I did not create it. I'm not the creator of it. If you go on the photo, it clearly says by Impala Jackson. So whoever Impala Jackson is somebody that sought to defame or hinder this family in some way, shape, or form, and I don't stand for it. I really don't stand for it. I'm against it. Since I'm in here and I got to get that done, we might as well get a show in. Put a one in the building if y'all want me to get a show in before I get ready to get on this flight and get out of here. Let me see. I put a one in the building if y'all want me to do a show before I get out of here. Maybe I can discuss something real quick with you guys before I get out of here. Or if not, we can leave it. Okay, we got a one. We got more ones. We got more ones. All right, cool. So before I end this segment, I would like to again apologize to Raquel Trammell, I believe is the last name. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, but this is the mother's Facebook here. She actually posted that she actually posted what I posted. She puts my Instagram up there. I mean, I don't care. I get tons of hate. People in there saying all the wrong things. Now let's be clear. If my child decided to, she said they do anything for clout. That's the trash ass song that Cardi B has out with Offset. But the main thing that was right was that someone who's running for Congress is pushing a false story that my child is a trans, and that's correct. And I want to make sure that I give an apology to that. But again, I want you to understand that this isn't something that I made up. This isn't something that I made up. This isn't something that I published the story. This is something that was trending online already. And I'm against anyone putting any children in any predicament where they won't be able to decide for themselves who it is that they want to be. All right. That's where that came from. I just gave a quick paragraph on how I felt about it. One funny person said that he posted this because I went off on him. Denisha, if that's your name, don't get ahead of yourself. The reason why I posted this is because I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. And I'm man enough to apologize when I'm wrong, because if someone wrongs me, I expect them to apologize back to me. Don't get ahead of yourself and think that you're the reason why I posted the apology, because then you take away from Raquel and you also take away from me. No one did this because of you. You're actually the last person that I talked to in my DM. I just answer as many DMs as I can per day. So anyone that had anything to say about it, more than likely, I got in contact with you and I talked to you. Actually, Nicole Marie is the first person that I talked to, and Nicole Marie was very respectful and cordial. And I informed Nicole that I would definitely post an apology, because wherever I find myself wrong, I make sure that I make it right. So to the family, again, I issue this apology. I sincerely apologize. I definitely made sure that I posted that that article was a lie. I went into as many people as I can that I've seen with the video, and I DM'd them, or not the video, with the content, and I DM'd them and I told them that it was false, it was wrong. The people who I seen posted first. If I was you, I would look into whoever Impala Jackson is, because it's clearly somebody that wants to cause you pain. Sincerest apologies to you. Okay, people, now that we got that out the way, I want to thank every last one of you deplorables for being in the building right now. I have a flight out tomorrow. I have to do some campaigning in New York, and this just happened. All of this just happened on a bad time. It was just happening at a bad time, and I couldn't allow it to rest on my spirit and allow that to remain up there without correcting it, without actually, doing something about it, saying something about it, and stepping up to defend this person and their family, and not to be, the person that just leaves it up there. Like, I don't care. It's, it gets clicks, or it gets I don't care about follows or likes or anything like that. I care about helping the American people. I care about making life better for American citizens, and I care about making sure that the American people realize that they're supposed to come first than anyone else. That's what I care about. I care about the Black and Hispanic community, because I'm a Black Hispanic male. That's what I care about. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about likes or social media or none of that nonsense. I honestly care about the American people. Now, on to some news. But before we do that, let's do this.
Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire! First is the family and my family entertainment and his team, no sleep. Flossy high and yeah, we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul, Illuminati wanna take it.
So everybody, it's never a good feeling um to admit you're wrong because it could have possibly hurt somebody. So it's just something that I gotta let sink in. It's a feeling of defeat. You know, I pride myself on champion for being the champion for people, and it really bothers me that that happened. It bothers me that it happened. It's not something that I find myself proud of. It's not something that's cool whatsoever. And I really dislike bullies. I really, really, really hate bullies. So, again, sincerest apologies to you, Raquel, and your family. Now, let's get into some news before I get out of here. I won't be on here long with you deplorables, even though I love every last one of you, and I got all of y'all up late at night doing the late night creep session with me. Even though I got you up late at night, I had to make sure that I made it right immediately. It had to be done immediately. I wasn't going to waste any time to correct that mistake. The best thing you can do is sincerely give an apology when you make a mistake as soon as you can. It's best to do it as soon as you can, because if not, then it has to have some malicious intent behind it. You won't see anybody as that's running for Congress as vulnerable as I am, and that'll be quick to tell you that they're wrong. Let's get into some news. Let me type some stuff in real quick.
What they need with Liberty Mutual. Well, here's an interesting new poll. It's from Siena College, and it shows that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has wasted no time in becoming deeply unpopular among voters in her home state of New York. A total of 33% of those polled said they liked Ocasio-Cortez. A whopping 44% did not.
And it's really a lot more than 44%. A lot of people who said that they liked her most likely weren't even people who are likely to vote. I think that the Arizona police did a horrible job with how they handled the couple. We can talk about that too tonight. We can talk about two things because this won't be long. We can get into that too.
How did someone who's been in Congress only a few months turn off so many people and so quickly?
Easy. It's by being a puppet, not doing the job that you were supposed to do in the first place. By being a puppet, not knowing how to do the job you're supposed to do in the first place. It's easy being a puppet and not even caring about the people in which you're supposed to be serving when you're a communist. I'm tired of people running around talking about how they're socialists. They're communists. These people are communists. They're straight communists. There's nothing about these people that tells you anything else. Socialism is just another word for communism. Look at Venezuela. When is the last time you seen something like that happen? I don't know, communist Russia.
Well, the Congresswoman has a ready answer for that, as she does for most things. As she explained on Twitter, Republicans, working in concert with that dastardly Fox News, quote, otherize and demonize anyone who isn't, quote, a white male. In other words, it's bigotry, pure and simple. Those may look like bad poll numbers. What they really are is racism. Now, it's possible you will scoff at this explanation. It is whiny and predictable.
So that means that the Latin American and Black Americans and white Americans, it's more than 44%, but the 44% that don't like you are racists. Everything about her, she says racist. Everything she says is racist. She tells you white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, but she lays down next to a white man every single night she goes to sleep, people. If she truly believed in white supremacy, the last thing she would do was find herself with a white man. She isn't from the district that she provides over because she doesn't even talk like a New Yorker. Ask her to say water. She lies to you people every chance she gets. She's a puppet that was put in place in order to continue the globalist reach over our communities and over this country.
When totally self-serving, it's also unsupported by evidence. So skepticism is a fair response. Well, let's go a little deeper for a second. What we have here is not simply a cynical excuse for personal failings, one we've heard 1,000 times from politicians, racism. What Ocasio-Cortez has given us instead is a litmus test for our souls. It's simple. When you agree with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you are a good person. When you disagree with her, you are not. You're a racist, a bigot, a hater, a loathsome human being. Got that? Okay. Prepare for the exam. We're not proctoring this test. We're on TV right now and you're at home or in a bar. We're going to have to use the honor system here. We're going to play you a series of clips. Now be honest about how you feel about them. Everything hangs in the balance. First, we're going to consider AOC's views on children. She doesn't have any, and there's a reason for that. She cares too much. Her heart is too big. Watch her explain.
Our planet is going to face disaster if we don't turn this ship around. And so it's basically like there's scientific consensus that the lives of children are going to be very difficult. And it does lead, I think, young people to have a legitimate question,
push you to not have kids so they can continue with population control, because this puppet works for the globalists and they don't want you breeding. They don't want you populating. They don't want you loving somebody. They don't want you to have somebody love. They want you to all be working robots. That's what they want. She's a communist. Start calling these people what they are. They're communists. The Democrat Party is the Communist Party.
Is it okay to still have children?
Is it okay to still have children? That is AOC's question to you. Now, if you answered, are you kidding? Of course it's okay to have children. By the way, back off, you authoritarian creep. How many kids I have is none of your business. If you answered that way, you failed the test. You're probably a white supremacist. If, on the other hand, you paused for a moment, thought deeply about climate change, and realized that actually some unmarried 29-year-old member of Congress probably should be in charge of your childbearing decisions, then congratulations, you passed. You are virtuous, not a racist at all. Okay, on to number 2. This one's about food.
My Twitter mentions I'm getting a lot of references about cow farts. And I think that's a reference to your Green New Deal.
Yes.
Can you explain that for us?
We got to address factory farming. Maybe we shouldn't be eating a hamburger for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So the question is, how many hamburgers should you be allowed to eat in the course of the day? Now, there are 2 possible answers here. The first is, huh? What kind of question is that? Isn't this America? And hey, stop eating off my plate. That, unfortunately, is the racist answer. It's the one that Bull Connor would have given if he were still alive enough to eat Big Macs. The correct answer is, I will eat exactly as many hamburgers as Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez allows me to eat, and I will be grateful for them. If that was your response, congratulations to you. You are a good person. Now to number 3. This one's about immigration.
Those women and children trying to come here with nothing but the shirts on their back to create an opportunity and to provide for this nation are acting more in an American tradition than this president is right now.
So the question is, who is more American? Actual Americans or foreigners who spit on our customs and mock our laws by sneaking into our country illegally and calling us racist if we try to make them leave? This is a tough one. Keep thinking. Okay, time's up. The answer is, illegal aliens are the real Americans. Duh. If you doubted that for a second, please hate yourself. You deserve it. And now for the final question on our test. This one is the Daily Double. See how you do.
Criticisms of you is that your math is fuzzy. The Washington Post recently awarded you 4 Pinocchios.
I think that there's a lot of people more concerned about being...
I'm tired of listening to this person. Let's talk about this.
There's so much scent in Newgate scent flat.
Let's talk about this. Let's get this out there. Let's talk about this since we're in here.
With guns drawn, watch as an officer points directly at the SUV. Inside, Aisha Harper, pregnant with her 2 daughters.
Put your hands up. Hands up.
Her fiance, Drayvon Ames, handcuffed.
Wait. I'll tell you to do something. Do it. We're not complying with you,
The incident in May because their 4-year-old daughter stole a doll from a nearby dollar store.
They never mentioned the dog. They automatically came straight to us for like force.
They were terrorizing my family, and I just felt hopeless and defenseless.
The family now planning to sue the Phoenix Police Department for $10 million, claiming the officer used excessive force.
They were vicious, and they were out for blood. They were just untrained.
According to the police report, one of the officers feared Aisha was reaching for a weapon. But in a statement, the police chief says she's disturbed by the language and actions of our officer. An investigation is now ongoing.
Everybody has rights.
And they violated so many of them.
Molly Hunter, NBC News.
Hey, NBC.
Good afternoon. Many of you have seen the videos from May 27th, where our Phoenix police officer made contact with the family. I, like you, am disturbed by the language and the actions of our officer. I assure you that this incident is not representative of the majority of Phoenix police officers who serve this city. I do want you to know that I expect our employees to maintain their professionalism and proper training at all times. As soon as I was aware of the video, I began an immediate internal investigation. Now, I wish investigations could be handled instantly, but each one takes time and deserves the due diligence before we can discuss specific details. For those of you who've made public comments and have contacted me personally about the video, I get it. Your concerns are also my concerns. With that said, I stand by my commitment of transparency and accountability as we continue to complete this internal investigation. I also stand behind and with the thousands of men and women who faithfully serve and protect our community day in and day out. Thank you for listening.
Now let's get to the footage.
This is the moment that has shocked viewers in America. A pregnant woman with her 2 children faced with armed officers threatening to shoot. She'd been out shopping with her partner in a dollar store in Phoenix. While there, the pair of them didn't notice when one of the children picked up a doll which wasn't paid for. Alerted by other shoppers, the storekeeper called the police, who followed the family's vehicle before moving in to apprehend them, pulling the driver from the car at gunpoint and handcuffing him.
I'm scared for little girls around the world that probably picks up a toy or something and afraid of getting shot.
The family have filed a $10 million lawsuit against the city and the police department and claim that ever since the incident, their little girl has been wetting the bed. For their part, the police allege they repeatedly tried to get Mr. Ames to stop his car, but he wouldn't comply. They have since issued this statement.
I, like you, am disturbed by the language and the actions of our officer.
Okay, let's get into it. Are y'all ready? The officers in this situation, they do not reflect the officers around the world that serve and protect the communities. Consequently, the thing that they don't discuss is every time you see untrained officers and officers acting in this manner, it's officers that are in democratic states and cities. It's Democrats that allow this type of lawlessness to even continue within the law enforcement community, and this breeds lawlessness by the officers. These officers clearly I don't think that they're going to lose their jobs because of this. And whether or not they lose their jobs is not up to me. It's actually up to the police chief and those who's doing the internal investigations, because what it would be based on is if these individuals had prior interactions where they use excessive force. And if there are prior interactions of them using excessive force, then you can quite bet on the cops are going to lose their jobs. If this is the first incident where excessive force was used and proven used, then I can see that the officers will be suspended and will be held accountable, but they will be suspended and probably without pay and off the job for maybe a month. The sad thing is that something bad could have happened. Something bad could have happened. It's okay if the volume is low in the video. We already know what was being said. I just wanted to just see a few things and get a few things so you guys can see it. Hold on. The officers in this case will be held accountable for their actions. No one's gonna go scot-free in this situation because there's a tape that's out there that's showing the officers and their behavior. This shouldn't be something that will be used to paint a brush all on law enforcement, but consequently it will be, because the media and the social justice warriors are going to eat this shit up. We have people like the Occupy Democrats who seem to always like to post stuff like this as if it's not coming out of democratic communities, and they post it first and they're on it first. And the reason why they do that is because they know this is how they play on the heartstrings of blacks and Hispanics in this country. They do that by making the police the conservatives, and then making whoever the police disenfranchise the liberals, when it's clearly not the case. It's not the case. The little girl took a doll. Kids do that. The police officers, knowing that this was a non-violent crime and it was a petty theft. You know, it wasn't grand larceny. It wasn't, anything of a significance. She walked out a dollar store with a toy. So clearly $1.99, the most for the toy. The toy was $1. The parents could have paid $1 for the toy. It wouldn't have been an issue. The police, a better trained unit would have stopped the car and would have said to them, hey, your daughter was reported taking such and such out of such and such. Would you like to go back and pay for the item? We were called, so we have to get your name, your information, write down a report, but we want to be able to make this right. So, no one is disturbed and no one is disrespected in any way, shape, or form. And a more professionally trained officer would have done that. This officer in this case, clearly disrespectful, clearly erratic. Me personally, I don't want to put my personal feelings on what I feel like he should be at this job or not, because I really believe that it should be based on the contingency of prior conduct. If there is other conduct that shows that this officer has used excessive force, and I mean, he was really excessive with the young man. I mean, really excessive with him. You seen how he kicked his leg down. He was clearly excessive to the tune of $10 million. I don't know if they're going to get $10 million, but in all reality, the little girls had guns drawn on them. I mean, the last thing you want your children to have is the people who are supposed to be protecting them pulling out guns on them for $1 doll. Here, these individuals, they shamed the police department. They shamed the great men and women that wake up every day, put on the uniform, put on the badge, and go out to protect the citizens that are in this great nation, and they did them a great disservice. And if they do keep these gentlemen on the job, I believe that the more excessive one will be fired. I believe he will be fired. I believe the other one who had the gun and had it on I believe he might be reprimanded and he might be suspended for a while. But the only way behavior like this will stop is if good cops hold bad cops accountable. These individuals that are doing stuff like this, that behavior like this, aren't your brothers and sisters because they have on the uniform and the badge. They are your liabilities. They are your liabilities. They're the reason why the community does not trust you. They're the reason why you have to be more fearful on the job. They're the reason why there is more tension within the community is because these people like this are your liabilities. And instead of you befriending them and treating them like brothers and sisters and telling them, it'll be okay, or forgetting the things that they done, you need to start turning your backs on them. You took an oath. You swore to the Constitution to protect the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic, and you also swore to protect and serve the people in which you find yourself patrolling. That is a responsibility that you have to uphold. No citizen has taken the oath to protect you or respect you. They have laws they have to follow, and they have rights that they have. They can say anything they want to you. They are free to do that. They don't have to identify unless they've committed a crime. We have to make sure that the people that you have outside with you, holding your back, putting on that uniform and putting on that badge, are good cops like you are. And if they're not, then you need to hold them accountable. It's okay to pull them to the side and say, hey, listen, brother, you was excessive. If you do that shit around me again, I'm going to report you to IAB. Or, you can tell them, hey, meet me outside after the job is over, and we can step outside and we can get this taken care of. But the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to give these people escapes. Escape. You don't want to be the scapegoat and give them excuses for their behavior. Poorly trained officers are the reason why you guys are more fearful today than you were even when there were more racial tensions in this country back in the 60s and the 70s. You have an obligation to protect and serve the people that you are in which the communities you find yourself patrolling, but you also have an obligation to make it home to your family, and you have an obligation to make sure that you do so in one piece. You don't allow yourself to be put out there and put in a situation where your lives are in jeopardy because of something that somebody else is doing or has done, and now you're sitting there and you're paying for it. This is just a sad case. In this situation, nobody wins. The people most affected by the situation will be the children, because this is something that the children will always see. The parents will be affected by it because, of course, they had their rights violated. They were treated like nothing. And then the officers involved and in the way they engage the individuals that they stop, they do nothing for the people that are waking up every day and doing their best to protect you and me. This is just a sad situation all across the board. Nobody wins in this situation. Even if the family gets $4 million, even if they get $2 million, the only person that wins out of this situation is the lawyers. That's it. They're the only people who wins from the situation. This doesn't help the community. This doesn't help solve the divide that the community have with law enforcement officers. This doesn't show law enforcement officers doing anything good, because just as much as you see these videos popping up on YouTube and on the news, you see these videos of officers doing wrong things. There are tons of videos that you don't even get to see of officers doing amazing jobs. No one wins in this situation. No one, not even the family, is going to get sure that I'm able to go in by telling you that you can be wrong. It's okay to admit that you're wrong. It's okay to admit that you've made a mistake. The best thing to do is try to fix it as soon as possible. I don't know what's going on with YouTube and streaming or what they're trying to do. Let me see. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what YouTube's problem is. It says offline. It says I'm still streaming. I don't know what the issue is or what the problem is. There I am. I don't know what's going on. But back to it. We need to do something with fixing the this is YouTube. YouTube is doing this. YouTube is breaking up the show, I guess, because they lost and I have the ability to go live again. They're gonna do anything they can to try to sabotage the platform and the show like they've done in the past. This is nothing new to us. Wherever you see someone doing something wrong, it's important to make sure that you voice what it is going on, but you make sure that you also give the person the opportunity to admit their faults so they can change it and fix their mistakes. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This was a late show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me your time, giving me your energy. We will be back soon enough, and who knows, maybe I'll have a live show from the airport red pilling people. Maybe I'll walk around with the MAGA hat on. You never know. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay American, and remember, we pray for the other side because we care. I'll talk to you guys later. I love every last one of you. Peace.